Mr. Button, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Well, the last few speakers have actually confirmed what this afternoon is really all about. It's about finding a way of reversing the referendum decision. And one of the ways to do that is endless negotiations. And as Mr. Varoufakis, the ex-finance minister of Greece, recently said, and he's a Remainer, by the way, he said, don't negotiate with the EU, they don't do negotiations. And he's quite right. Trying to leave by Article 50 and negotiating our way out is entirely the wrong way to go about it. The British government should repeal the 1972 European Communities Act and then tell the European Union how it's leaving, not ask them how it can be done. I have two questions, and then I'd like to say something briefly about citizenship. First of all, Renée Weber spoke about access to acquired rights and the benefit systems for EU citizens in our country. And also this time bomb of vested rights was raised, which was alluded to before, and it's a Court of Justice decision of 1963, which says the community constitutes a new legal order, etc. It not only imposes obligations on individuals, but is also intended to confer rights upon them, which become part of their legal heritage. This is a time bomb under the Brexit negotiations, which nobody in the UK is talking about, and the government certainly isn't. And indeed, Mr. Verhofstadt spoke about protecting the rights of everybody, the economically inactive, the economically active, and anyone who has ever visited the EU. And he said they should have access to the NHS, access to education, etc., etc. Now, Britain has always been a net contributor to the budget. Out of 43 years out of 44, we've been a net contributor to the budget. In fact, we're normally the second, third, or fourth biggest contributor to the budget. Most of the countries who are members of the EU have never been net contributors. They are beneficiaries. And my question is, who is supposed to pay for not people who are already there and already established and have rights, but anybody who was actually born? I didn't interrupt you, don't interrupt me, please. Who is supposed to pay for people who may have visited the UK once? And the vested rights thing may actually apply to anybody born up until the time we leave the European Union. And considering that the eldest citizen of the EU died recently, aged 117, we might never be clear of this thing for 100 years. So my question is about fairness. Is it fair to expect British taxpayers to pay for that when they've always paid for the EU? Regarding the question of people living in the EU, it isn't true entirely, as Jonathan Porter said, that the Leave campaign didn't talk about it. I've been a Leave campaigner for 25 years,
conclude,
and I was an
please?
immigration spokesman for 5 years, and I said that this is going to be the hardest problem to unravel. But I did say that we need a reciprocal agreement, we need simplified systems, which have always been alluded to, so that everybody is sorted out very quickly. You can't enforce that across the EU because while the UK will sign an agreement and keep to it, we have to rely on 27 other states to keep to it. And I get people write to me all the time because EU law is not applied properly in countries and they can't get the Commission to do anything about it. We need bilateral arrangements with every one of those 27
can you
countries.
Conclude, please?
Very quickly on citizenship.
It's already come on.
We agreed on a rule of 2 minutes. You all go over time, and I'm asking once. I normally stick to my 60 seconds, and I'm asking once for a little bit of extra time, like Mr. Verhofstadt gets every time he speaks in the chamber. Very quickly, involuntary loss of citizenship.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't involuntary. There was a referendum.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't have a microphone anymore. Thank you.